Good evening, Senator Kelly.
Good evening, Madam President, and I also rise in support of this bill. I would like to thank the Public Health Committee for bringing the bill forward and for addressing many of the issues that it did within the bill. On the whole, I think this is a very good bill. One, I'm just going to go through the things that I think deserve special attention. First and foremost is the coronary calcium scans. I remember in my first term as minority leader, myself and then Senator Paul Formica proposed this because this is something that is, unfortunately, cardiac issues are a women's health issue. And I think in 2021, 1 in 5 women died from heart attacks. So this is something, it's a very simple, low-cost test that can really give much-needed information. So I was very happy to see that. I was also encouraged to see the study group that's going to deal with loneliness and social isolation. If there was one thing we learned in COVID from the Mathematica report, was that social isolation was an unbelievable impact and has a very bad impact on health outcomes. And this is something that I think we need to look at. I think it's something that in large part our government doesn't address. It's something that's going below the current, but this study group is going to look at that issue and bring much needed information back so that we can make smart policy to hopefully address this issue, because there's nothing worse in this world than being alone. There's also, I saw the study regarding the incidence of prescription drugs and the prescription drug shortages and whether the state can play a role in this. And I know a few years back, and I just wanted to put this on the record, I had a number of constituents come forward talking about a shortage in Trulicity and particularly Ozempic, which is a diabetic prescription, but was being used for weight loss. And I hope that the study group looks at that, because there is current practice within the state employee health plan to utilize those prescriptions for weight loss, which obviously is also important to health outcomes, but still something we need to focus on. I also like the issue with regards to prohibiting nursing homes from rejecting applicants simply because they received mental health services. And I see this all the time in my practice as an elder law attorney, that many times a senior, either with having had mental health services or even presenting at an ER, agitated, confused, and they receive mental health drugs to calm them down, to then be barred admission into a nursing home, and only because they took that prescription, which was there to calm them down. So I think that's a very good step in the right direction. And then the last point, I would really be remiss if I didn't bring up the sensitivity that was put into addressing pediatric hospice services. As a grandfather with a grandson that has cancer, this is a very difficult experience to have and to go through, not only for the child, but for the entire family. And it's not only what you're dealing with on a daily basis, but you also get into support groups and you listen to other families going through the same thing. And while in our case, we're blessed that our grandson right now is doing well, there are far too many that are in the group that go and may have been going in the right direction and then stumble, fall, and be told there's nothing we can do. That is a message I would never want any family to have. And to know that we don't have any support services there for these families, I think is something that I was very heartened to see, that we're giving the proper sensitivity to this issue, because there's nothing worse than to know that a family member, particularly a child, has been diagnosed with cancer. And it's even worse when you get the news there's nothing we can do. when you sit there and think to yourself, with everything we can do in this country, that we haven't figured that one out, that a youth, strong, capable individual can't beat cancer. So thank you to the leadership on public health for recognizing that issue and bringing this forward. I think it's something that is long overdue, and I'm thankful that you saw that and included it in the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Kelly.